Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you to daily Hindu analysis videos. These videos they come in the morning and the PIB videos they come in the evening, both in Hindi and English. And the PDFs you will get on the Telegram channel of StudyIQ and on my Facebook group, the Amit Sani group for IAS preparation. So you can download these files daily. 28th today January is, and it's Monday. Much information is there. Start with the motivating quote. It takes courage to be different. You need to be different. You have chosen a path that is different, and you will be a different person if you will be successful. And to be different, you need a lot of courage. You see, it's a normal climate these days. People would see a powerful person and they will stand behind him and they will start shouting. These are hypocrites. And when you will decide to change some things, if you will decide to bring improvement in the society, then you will need a lot of courage. So courage is always needed, because courage is the real quality. It's nothing like a hypocrisy. And when a real challenge is there in front of you, I have taken a challenge to pass this examination. It's a challenge, so you will need real qualities, and courage is that quality. And courage makes you, courage gives you an aim also, and it makes you disciplined, it makes you powerful, it makes you focused. So courage is important, but alongside this courage you will also need some patience, some direction, and the focus and observation. But without these qualities, courage would fail after some time. So that's the thing. But courage is real, and to be different, it needs to be courageous. That's the thing. And you see these pen drive courses by StudyIQ. These are also important and very much. They are having a particular level where certainly they are going to help you. These are not foolish courses, and whether you are preparing for railways, SSC, banks, UPSC, RBI, all courses are available. Call on these numbers and you can buy them. And the vocabulary, try these in the sentences. And now about the editorials today. Very important and informative articles came today. Former economic advisor C. Rangarajan, he has written a piece of writing that is very much point-based suggestions he has given here. And not much explanatory this article is, and it addresses the farmers situation, agricultural distress situation, and he is suggesting out of his experience. And this person is also a great scholar, Mahindra Dev. So they both are the writers. Now see, they are saying removing the roots of farmers distress that we need long-term solutions. And these loan waivers and all these welfare schemes and giving interest-free loans and all these income support and income improvement schemes, these are short-term measures. We need long-term solutions, and anything that is trying to become a long-term and sustainable particular stream, then it needs to be independent. So agriculture needs to be independent. It should not be given any excessive supports, otherwise it would never improve. But you see, what are the preconditions here? That we need to address a lot of issues. We need a lot of investment. And what is the way? Let's see this. Recently there has been active discussion on the strategies addressing farm distress, because interim budget is about to be announced, and this is election year. So this situation is very, very important. It's a very crucial point. And at this last year of this government, they will focus on a lot of welfare schemes again, and those are again not going to be long-term measures. So we need to be very cautious here. You see, low agricultural prices, consequently poor farmers' income, low productivity, and related supply side factors. These are the main issues with today's agriculture. Okay, so apart from that, viability of the size of raising farm incomes and these land holdings, average size of farm, these are also points to be taken care of. Otherwise, productivity factor would not improve anyway. You see, if we look at the prices factor and the incomes issue, prices play a key role in affecting the incomes of farmers. That's important. This issue was addressed in the Green Revolution also. That time it was also seen that if farmers' income is not raised, then there is no use of this revolution. We will become independent. But for the long term, farmers' income needs to be improved. And you see, for the last 2 years, if we look at the inflation numbers in agriculture, they are somehow disappointing for the farmers. You see, the deflator which shows the actual change from the constant value and today's market value. You see, only 1.1% gross value addition was there in the agricultural sector, and in total for whole economy it was 3.2%, although it has been low for some time, for some years now, but it was only 1.1%, and that's totally disappointing and does not encourage farmers in any way. Okay, so this GVA addition is a must if we need to boost the agricultural sector economy wise. But you see it has been nearly 0% if you look at the data of 18-19. This was the 17-18 year, and this year it is nearly 0%. That means there is no boost, economic boost, because without inflation you cannot expect much growth. That's why the 2 to 6% inflation is allowed. Okay, now see the price deflator of 0%. It shows that there is no interest, there is no economic boost, and there is no focus on the agricultural sector economy wise. And market prices for several agricultural commodities have been lower than those of minimum support prices. That is the issue we are commonly observing year by year. And you see terms of trade to be moving against agriculture in last 2 years. Last 2 years it is happening. You see, we discussed about the issue of NPAs in the agricultural sector, and they told us in the last yesterday's article that it was the situation after 2008 that NPA rose. But now for the last 3-4 years it is the policy failure that is the main reason. Okay, and that's why these terms of trade, they are moving against these farmers, poor farmers. Okay, and you see they don't know much about these market disturbances and market manipulations and all. These lobbies, they cannot do much. It is the government and the market, they can do much about it. Now see, one economic factor which is there, that when output increases, prices decline. That happens in the normal demand and supply system. When supply is increased, it is in excess more than the demand, then certainly the prices would decline. This is happening for the agriculture for last 3-4 years. You see our production is rising out of these successful policies and some investment, some boost, some changes. Our production is rising, and it was due to monsoon or good monsoon also. So when these production level that rose, then prices are declining. That's a common situation we have been observing for the last 2-3 years. Now what do we do in this situation when farmers, they are growing crops and they are in excess, but they are not able to get prices for these crops, and now because of this they are in great distress. Suicides are following. So now government needs to intervene here. What it can do, it has two options: price deficiency compensation and open procurement system. Whether it goes for unlimited procurement, okay, and it will take this whole amount of grains and all, and they will shift it to the go downs, and there they don't have much facilities. These are not good storage facilities inside these go downs and all. Okay, so regarding that we also discussed. So there are problems, and problems are also there with the price deficiency compensation, that what is the limit of the state, how much it can support. There are economic regions, because cost is involved here. Okay, it is costly for the state. So what it can do? So there is a innovative solution, that go for the limited procurement scheme. What is limited procurement scheme? That government should only procure the excess amount, okay, and rest of the amount, that should be going according to the MSP mechanism and the market mechanism. Okay, we should leave that aside. Only the excess amount should be procured, and that should be used in these welfare programs, as we are using these grains in the Food Security Act and all. Okay, although there are issues that rotten grain is coming because the low quality of the storage facilities in India, so that's a different issue. There also we need a lot of investment, but this limited procurement scheme can work here. Okay, and we can compensate farmers for that, so that farmers are also getting some support, and the cost is not too much high for the state. Okay, that's the issue. And you see, if we talk about some crops here, some crops are much more focused. Okay, and these are wheat and rices. So there we need to talk about it. But before that, one issue that is left, that here The Ryutu Bandhu scheme of Telangana and Kalia scheme of Odisha, that is in much highlight. Okay, these schemes, they are adopting this middle path and they are supporting farmers, but these all are farm support schemes. These are income support schemes. Okay, these are not long term measures. Okay, and Telangana model itself has some lacks, that it is not covering the tenants, which are making a major portion of these cultivators. Mostly these are tenants only, and it is not covering that particular group. And you see in this Kalia scheme is providing interest free loans up to 50,000 rupees. So these are again short term measures. They are not viable for a longer period of time for the state. It would be costly. So we need to go for long term measures, and there we need to talk about these crops and all. What is the problem? You see, raising the MSP and price deficiency payment or income support schemes can only be partial solutions. Okay, long term trade policies we need to evolve here, and we need to address the problems. What are the problems? Inefficient physical operations. You see APMC or these mandis, these are the most corrupt organizations. Excessive crowding of intermediaries, the biggest issue in the farming sector. You see the farmers are selling their crops for 1 rupee, 2 rupee per kg, and we are getting them 40 rupees, 50 rupees per kg. So where this gap is, where is this amount going? Where are these 40 rupees going? These are going with these intermediaries. They are so wealthy people, they are so influential people. They manipulate the system, market, and they manage the politicians also, and they manage the schemes also. So that's why these are always at advantage. We need to remove these intermediaries. That is the biggest solution. And you see the schemes like ENAM, they can help a lot because these are based on technologies. Okay, and direct selling would happen, and the direct payment would follow. So less chances of corruption here, zero chances of corruption if these are implemented perfectly. Now see, fragmented market chains. You see these people are only working here where they break these market chains anytime, and they can manipulate these markets, and there is no uniform system of these value chains and all. So that we need to make them robust. Now see, states have not shown any urgency here in these sectors, and they are always going for these welfare schemes and all in the political challenging times. Okay, always they are coming up with these schemes which are short term measures. These are not long term measures. They don't want to invest in these long term measures. They don't want to invest in infrastructure. They don't want to invest in R&D sector. They don't want to invest in a technological upgradation in the schemes, and they don't want to invest in these storage facilities which are direly needed, but nobody is caring about that. Not the state governments, not the central governments. Always they are having fund crunch here. And you see, they need to go for farming, wholesaling, logistics, processing, and retailing. These are the areas where we need investment, a lot of investment, and these can give solutions. Now see, low productivity issue. The second most important issue. You see, if we compare us with the countries like Brazil, USA, China, our productivities are very less. Per hectare yield is very less with India, and we are using 3 times more water in irrigation, and still we are not able to get that productivity. So that means we are at a loss here, and our procedures needs to be upgraded. We need technologies, we need drip irrigation like facilities, and they need investment. So here are the solutions, but are we ready to go for them? And you see, 60% of the irrigation water is consumed with the crops of rice and sugar cane. So these are eating our irrigation facilities. What about the other crops? They are always having insufficient supplies. And you see, as I told you, in producing 1 ton grain, we need 3 times more water. So yield gaps are there. We need to address them, and we need to apply these drip irrigation like advanced facilities. These are costly. These are not costly. Once one-time investment is needed, after that they would compensate everything. But we are not ready to do that one-time investment. That's a problem. And you see, government policies are biased towards cereals like rice and wheat, and it has been the condition since Green Revolution time. Only these 2 crops growers are having advantage, and only the large land holding farmers, okay, they are at advantage. So land size is a big issue. As I told you, productivity would come only in the large land holding and in these large farms. But how many people are having these? You see, 67% are the marginal farmers, means they are having less than 1 hectare land, and around 25%, 20 to 30% are small farmers, 1 to 5 hectare land holding, okay, and rest of them around 10 to 15% are the large land holders. So only these people are at advantage, and we need corporate farming because we need land pooling. Otherwise productivity would not be there. You see, size of the lands, it is not rising, but the population is rising. So we need land pooling. More and more fragmentation is rising, and these these farms are becoming shorter and shorter. Okay, that's the situation. So that's why productivity is going down year by year, and you see these people are reluctant to give their lands on lease or on sale, because situation is that most of them are not having any produces, not having any income out of these lands. But you see, land is our mother, so they don't want to lose it. That's the problem. So that's why land pooling is also impossible in India. And you see, there are issues. People fight always for 1 inch of their land. So what can we expect from our poor people? And they are fighting for even 1 inch of land. How they will be doing this land pooling, and how they would give these lands to on lease to these corporate farmers and all. So we need these solutions. We need to understand them. Farmers would need to understand these issues also. Okay, government cannot help much here. Okay, and policies cannot help much here. And the Bhudan Andolan that followed and all. So these all things were measures from the people's side and farmer side. They need to understand the issue. And apart from that, we need to take care about these small and marginal farmers. We need more and more technologies. Okay, you see, the share of SMF, small and marginal farmers, those were 70% in 80s. Now it is 86% because population has risen so fast, and average size of marginal holding is only 0.38 hectares. Means 67% of people engaged in farming, they are having less than 0.38 hectares of land. So what kind of productivity we can expect? It is only subsistence farming that is happening. Okay, they are just living, they are just surviving, and that is not possible. That's why suicides. Now see, average income for the small land holders is only 4 to 5,000 per month, and it is 41,000 for large farmers. Okay, so that huge this difference is. That's why we need bigger lands for farming and for these commercial crops which are going to raise the incomes. Okay, now one more issue is there, that there are very less opportunities in the non-farm sector. So non-farm sector employment is also a big issue. That's why people are still engaged with the farming, and they are not moving away from farming. That's the issue, because they don't see much opportunities there. They are not skilled, they are not educated much, they are not having any other abilities so that they can earn. They don't have much investment capacity so that they would become entrepreneurs or business people. So these are the troubles. So that's why they are not moving away from farming. So that's the issue. So we need consolidation of land holding, because these people would hardly move from here. So consolidation is the solution here. And you see, we don't see much policies, we don't see much discussions on these land fragmentation and consolidation of farm holdings. We need to discuss these issues. And you see, we need clear cut and genuine policies for corporate farming also. But issue with India is, that's very typical, that negative developments would always follow and positive developments are very rare. People would always take advantage. Politicians would always take advantage. They would want to grab the land. So these are the issues that these are kind of hindrances, that people don't take initiatives. Farmers don't take initiatives. They are not ready to give their land. So that's the issue. Okay. And these are the solutions. If we do not care about them, if we do not improve here, then we cannot expect any kind of long-term solution, and this will keep going on, and more farmers would die because the distress is always there. More and more land fragmentation is happening, and this will keep happening, and people would keep engaged themselves in these farming sector only because they don't see much opportunity in the non-farming sector. That's the issue. So tackle it like this. These are the solutions. Next article is for the malaria control. We have taken a leadership role here. We have done improvement. We saw 24% decrease in 2017 in the disease burden of malaria. Okay, you see many countries are affected by malaria, and it's a huge issue in African countries, and many people are dying because of malaria. In 1953, we started a national malaria control program, and we have come so far away from that situation where many people were dying because of mosquito bites. But now very less deaths are happening. Although that's a different situation, that more people are dying because of dengue and Japanese encephalitis, chikungunya, swine flu. These are the things. Okay, swine flu is not mosquito-borne disease, but it's a vector-borne disease. So these all are vector-borne diseases. Okay, and we have programs for that. We have national NCVBD, and this is working in this area. So we have got some milestones here. We have achieved some here. In World Malaria Report of 18, WHO said that India's recent strides are good, and India should take the responsibility for other nations also, because India is the only country among 11 highest burden countries that saw substantial progress in reducing disease burden. So that's our achievement, and we have done achievement in the area of polio also. So these are the highlights for Indian health sector, and we have done great here. Now see, so we are providing hopes to other countries also. Now see, why we made progress here? Because our policies, our particular steps were country owned, our own, and these were typical of Indian conditions, and they were taking care of the local situations. It was East Asia Summit in 2015 when we pledged to eliminate this disease by 2030, and India launched the 5-year national strategic plan for that. Okay, so malaria control to elimination. This is the shift. First we were controlling, it was control programs. Now elimination programs are running, and you see target is there for 2022 that India's 6, 7, 8 districts would be having a roadmap for this. We need 10,000 crore rupees investment here, and that's the trouble, but we are moving ahead. Okay, so problem is that health is a state subject. We have schedule 7 here. 3 lists are there: union list, state list, and concurrent list. So in state list, the health subject comes. So state's responsibility is also very huge here, and there needs to be a collaboration between center and the states. You see, if we take the example of Odisha here, Odisha has done tremendously good work here. Durgamma Anchalare Malaria Nirakaran initiative was there, Daman initiative. Okay, so here Ashas helped, and I told you regarding Ashas in my PIB videos. These are the ground workers and the most effective ground level workers. This is accredited social health activist. Okay, she is a woman from the same village, and she can do tremendous work. The whole scenario of India in this NHM initiative, the National Health Mission, Ashas were the units that changed the scenario of health sector in India in villages. So Ashas helped distribute approximately 11 million bed nets there, and bed nets are very helpful because these nets, okay, they help enormously. These mosquitoes, they cannot penetrate these nets. Okay, so this helped a lot, and 80% decline in the malaria deaths. Okay, and they also included residential hostels in schools also. There also a lot of cases came. Okay, so this initiative has inbuilt innovative strategies. So this kind of strategies we need. Okay, so that's the issue. That's why we could achieve. So in the same way, center and states should proceed, and we should also apply these issues in the disease like dengue, and malaria itself is talked about here, and the Japanese encephalitis, and other vector-borne diseases where people are dying much more in number than they were dying 20 years back. Okay, now this article is not of much importance for us because it is talking about the issue of dance bar girls in Maharashtra, but the main issue is that how do we balance traditions, how do we balance our changing times and liberal ways of life. Okay, and we need to maintain law, we need to uphold constitution and its values, and traditions are also becoming much more important than they ever were. Okay, so it is the issue of social acceptance of some lifestyle ways, you can say, and how do we accept new changes in our society. You see, this is not a new change. Dancing girls were there for always in areas like Maharashtra and all, but you see, the main issue is that when Supreme Court is intervening and when it quashed the ban imposed by Maharashtra government, that you cannot put a complete ban on these girls' livelihood, because more than 75,000 girls are there and their livelihood is at stake. And you see, according to these girls, it's a dignified employment. We don't want to go towards prostitution, and if you put a ban on this, we would be pushed to go towards prostitution because we don't have any avenue left. So that's why Supreme Court imposed a ban here. But it's also true that it's not a totally socially accepted phenomena, because these dance bar girls, they dance in front of drunken people, and people are more involved with the alcohol consumption and all, and every day they are going to these dance bars and all. So many lives, many families are disturbed because of that. That's also a real situation. So it's an issue of promiscuity also, and some prostitution cases are also found in some bars. So those are the issues. But you see, when it comes to the issue of livelihood, then we need to discuss, it's a dilemma, and we need to start a debate on this topic, that how do we manage these times, because everyone asserts for their fundamental rights, and they would also assert their fundamental right that this employment is not about prostitution. These girls, they argue that this is not prostitution, this is an art. So when this is an art, then how can you impose a ban? So a lot of troubles are mixed with this issue, and we need to discuss that in a light of constitutional values, and this debate should go on. So I have given you a question also, so you can take clues from this particular issue. Okay, but from exam point of view, this issue is more philosophical for us. Next article, the hard power imperative. That was the issue that we left last week. India needs to urgently modernize the armed forces. It has shown some mirror to government also, because there are facts. You see, Insect Allies, it's a program launched by the DARPA of USA, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. They are involved with all kinds of researchers and R&D initiative in the military sector and other technological areas. So what they are doing here, they are using the genetically modification technologies and genetically modified viruses these insects would use, and these insects would go to fields, they would penetrate these crops and all, and they are going to help these crops, because these modified viruses, they are going to fight the infections. So this is the explanation given by USA, that it's a positive technology. But question remains here, is this agricultural warfare? Because a lot of apprehensions are there that this technology can be used in wars where these viruses can bring havoc to the enemy nation and their agricultural crops. Okay, this can easily be used, and you won't be able to stop this issue. You won't be able to understand the particular kind of warfare here, and you cannot have a counter to this. So these are very advanced areas, and the military and the defense areas of these developed countries like USA, China, they are moving ahead in this direction, and that is very much advanced and a technological upgradation based. Okay, and these are innovative things also, although these are not ethical, these are totally unethical. But nobody cares about ethics when it comes to war and when it comes to rivalry. And when we are also talking on high grounds, and we are also talking about our military capabilities, that India is a changed nation now. We are no more following a peaceful ways. We will not tolerate any kind of disturbance, and we will destroy the other party. So when we are making these kind of claims, then some fact check is needed here. Okay, so they are moving in this direction, and it is also talking about the case of China. You see the China's reality. We always thump our chest that we can destroy China within moments, and they cannot dare talking about India, and they cannot capture anything, and we are much more capable. You must have seen these kind of news on G News like channels where they are saying that China is totally afraid of India, and they are totally shattered by India's these kind of upgradations. We have bought howitzer from America and all. Okay, so these kind of things are always going on. These rhetorics are always going on, but how much real these are, this is the fact. Fact is, China realized this early, and its advancements in weapon technology has been impressive with the research and development R&D allocation. You see, R&D allocation, we have talked much about this R&D issue and how poor our working is. Okay, and how much we are investing in the R&D sector, in pharmaceutical, in health sector, in military, and everywhere. Our performance is very, very dismal here. Okay, and China's R&D allocation were 13.4 billion in 1990s. In 1991, 13.4 billion only, billion dollars. Do you know what is the amount now? 377 billion dollars in 2015. 4 years back, 377 billion dollars, and that was our forex reserve in that year. You see how difficult the situation is. Whatever our forex reserves are, these are the R&D investment from China. So you can imagine the situation where China is going. And take the example of J-20 stealth fighter from China, so advanced, totally unimaginable for our technologies, and hypersonic wave rider vehicle programs. These kind of examples can show the power and the strength of China today, and the kind of advancement it has achieved. You see, that's why USA is afraid of China more than Russia. That is the problem. And where we are talking, you see the reality. We are stuck with the issues of Rafale, we are stuck with the issues of Tejas, Dhruv, and clearances are not there for decades. These things are hanging, and we are not even clear about the 36 Rafale jet planes, and those were needed 20 years back. But still, these things are not possible for us. And where these countries are moving ahead, they are moving with agricultural biological warfares, genetically modified viruses they are using in the warfare. So that's the issue. And now see, China is changing the rules that govern geopolitical relations out of its capability. And what is our capability? Delhi is stuck on the mundane issues of third and fourth generation fighter programs of Tejas and Rafale that I told you. And we are demanding waiver from America for CAATSA and all. And you see, we are also very much happy when America became our friend, became our good ally. But the writer is saying these things are never going to help. Only thing that is going to help, that is independence in these areas, and research and development investment in these areas. Because whatever USA and China today are, they are fighting a lot with each other. Trade wars are going on, but they are dependent on their own technology. They are not happy becoming a friend with any nation, and we are behaving so smug about some deals with USA, and that's nowhere gonna help us. Okay, and China and US may be adversaries, but economic reasons will not let their rhetoric and mutual trade wars cross the Rubicon. Cold calculation of national interest drive their decision making. Cold calculation. They are not thinking with hot-headed. They are doing calculations for the future. Okay, and what is the condition of India? India's condition is like this, that pledges of friendships with less powerful nations, India included, are plausible. What is the meaning of this line? You see, sometimes we are too disturbed that something happened on Doklam and all these things are serious. But you see, these things are not any huge issue for a country like China and USA. They don't pay much attention to these issues. They are always paying attention to their capability rising. And India is most of the time stuck with these rhetorics and political talks on stages, and always any issue would become political here, and always they would want to take the advantage of these issues. You see, in all these political rallies, most of the things that today's politicians are talking about, these are related to our Sena, our Jawans. Uri movie came and all these ministers, they flocked to watch it. You see the focus, the kind of way we apply, and it is the defense sector. You see the reality. If I would tell you that Indian Air Force has delayed payment to HAL, and we saw the case of HAL, they are not able to pay their employees, and Defense Ministry has not paid military contracts. This is the reality of India, that they are not able to pay their contractors, and we are always having crunches in the funds and fund allocation, and all kinds of corruptions are going on. Most corrupt department is the military department. Defense acquisitions are always in trouble, and you see ammunitions are a big trouble. We are not having much stocks, so we need dire attention here. We need intervention from the government side. We need investment, and huge investment. Adequate budget should be there. Okay, and you see what is the condition of India in R&D sector. It is only 0.63% of GDP that we are investing. Only 0.63% of the GDP, and out of this 0.63%, 60% is for the military and defense, and 40% is for the rest of the fields of economy, health sector, everything that is relatable with the R&D sector. So that is the level of our R&D, our investment here. And you see the investment from China. In the same period, China's investment has gone up from 0.56 to 2.04%, 07% of the GDP. China's GDP is way bigger than India, and that GDP is 2.07%. You can imagine what is the difference with India and China in the R&D sector, in the military investment sector, in the all other sectors of areas where we are comparing ourselves with China. So these are the real situations. Last two Aero India and Defense Expo exhibitions, it was a dismal participation from the weapon manufacturers of India. Recently one case happened when the sniper rifles we procured, so we thumbed our chest again, and we were so happy and smug. And writer says military power does not come with the purchase of sniper rifles, the emergency acquisition of which caused euphoria in some circles recently, and we were so happy. That was a good occasion, happy occasion, but not it was not that phase where we are totally it means in a euphoria like condition, and we are not caring about the core issues. Decades are needed to build military power. Okay, decades are needed. Decade-long commitment of focused political and scientific attention is needed. Then only these capabilities are built. You see the rise of Japan's military in the early 19th century, Germany's military between 1922 to 40, China's military between 80 to 2005. So they took 25-30 years, and we cannot even say today that we are on a same path and the same kind of investments we are making as China was doing. We are not even at that stage. We are lacking here also, that we are not adopting the same way, same approach till date. So it will take more than 30-40 years from now to match their capabilities. And India's 90-20 budget should focus on military investment a lot, and these modernization of militaries. Otherwise it is going to be a huge problem in the near future, because they are moving very fast. China is moving very fast. And what is our capability? What is our modernization? So India's polity need is some serious bipartisan introspection and discussion. Otherwise, we should not thump our chests, and we should compromise with our defense situations. Okay, and that is impossible for us. Next, the issue of bird watchers flock to Chilika Lake. It's a lagoon lake in state of Odisha. This is the map question for you today. Look for the map, look for this Chilika Lake, look for the rivers which are coming to this Chilika Lake, and the Olive Ridley turtles issue, Rishikula River and the beaches, and the Chandipur beach which is there, and these ports, Dhamra port. Look for all these areas, okay, and these borders, and look for this Nalbana bird sanctuary also. So that's a map question for today. Next news is Kelkar Moods setting up of Niti Aayog 2.0. You see, when Planning Commission was the most important body in India 4-5 years back, it surpassed NDC, it surpassed Finance Commission, everything. It was allocating funds practically to these states and all these bodies of India. So it was the most important commission, Planning Commission. Now they dissolved it and they brought Niti Aayog, National Institute for Transforming India. But how they are going to transform India, nobody knows. 4-5 years are gone and nobody knows in which way Niti Aayog is working. We see its involvement in some initiatives, in some issues, but the actual robust working is not open. And actually a lot of scholars has said in the past that what this working of Niti Aayog is not clear. You have not given Niti Aayog any power. It's more a suggestion giving body. Okay, so that's the problem. And now Niti Aayog 2.0 version is needed, where it would be having a power to allocate funds to these states and all. So that's the real need, and regional balance would follow when it would have some power and it would be able to implement the collaborative federalism in India. The way Planning Commission was very much effective, this is nowhere effective, and it's a kind of a ceremonial body only. That is the allegation by many scholars. So now Mr. Kelkar is saying, and Vijay Kelkar, he was the chairman of Finance Commission formerly. Okay, so that's the suggestion. Next, these MCQs, you can try them. And the mains question, 1200 words you need to write here. It's a huge issue. You have to consider many areas, and clues you can take from all sectors of the political sphere today, wherever these legislations and their controversies and these rhetorics are going on. So there you can take clues and you can bring a neutral document on it. Okay, because it's the issue of our lifestyle, our changing times, internet, media, movies, they are very much liberal these days, and alongside it you see in India a lot of conservatism is going on, and a lot of restrictions are being put on our lifestyle ways, and a lot of dictations are there. Okay, and still we see more and more liberal ways in the media section, show businesses and all. So how do we balance this thing? What are the observations? Comment on that situation. Okay, so thanks a lot, keep watching, and this is the Facebook ID, this is the group where I upload these PDFs daily, and send me a request, I would approve, and this is the link for my Facebook page. Thanks a lot, keep watching. It was amazing.